Welcome to Sustainable Leadership Live. I'm your host, Lisa Danforth, and I have the fabulous Emily Brower, who is a confidence and weight loss coach. I had to look at that for a second. Confidence, weight loss, life coach. So many different things that you bring to the table, Emily. It's really impressive.
Thank you.
And I'm
Thank
super
you.
excited to be talking today about really being a leader in your own weight loss. It is up to us and up to our mindset to really be doing what it is that we need to be in order to live the life that we want.
Definitely. It's all
But
in your
before we jump
control.
in, sorry. Before we jump in, I would love to read a little bit about Emily because her story is so incredibly impressive and it's truly inspiring. So, Emily is a former educator and stay at home mom turned life coach. She spent her whole life dieting and never feeling better, even after losing 100 pounds. That just blows me away. Once she learned how to tap into her mindset to help heal herself, her weight loss journey started again. That's when Ditch the Diet was born. Emily's mission is to coach as many people as possible into a way of living that they're proud of and confident in. So, Emily, let's jump right in and share your brilliance with everyone.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here and talk about this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so many of business owners, leaders, stay-at-home moms, where it's so busy that we don't have time to care for and nurture for ourselves, and it truly impacts how we show up.
Oh, absolutely. I think kicking our self-care down the road again and again and again becomes a habit that we need to break free of and reevaluate and say, I'm going to take care of me today and tomorrow and the next day and not just keep kicking it down the road.
And do you find that that is what most people who come to you struggle with is just keep kicking it down the road? They know that they need to, but it just doesn't
Yeah,
become a
I think it's
priority?
the follow through. It's like I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it. It's like, right, because your brain doesn't want something different, right? The
Mhm.
motivational triad of the brain is to conserve energy, seek pleasure, avoid pain. Anything different is seen as an expenditure of energy. And is it necessary? Because acting on habit seems a lot easier. So it's totally
Absolutely.
normal to have that resistance. Once you can understand why you have it, then we can tap into that thinking.
Yeah, it's just so easy to just do what we've always done and get the results that we've always had, even if we don't want it, especially when we're super busy. I would love to learn a little bit more when you lost 100 pounds and then you really started working on your mindset.
Mhm.
You had said that that was when, you needed to start over and really start the process again. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So I did lose 100 pounds on Weight Watchers, and I'm not going to knock Weight Watchers because I think it's a great program,
Mhm.
but I think it's lacking in some areas. And so I lost 100 pounds and I regained 70 of it, and I beat myself up for that. It's like, oh my gosh, like you had it, you were at the Holy Land, and you regained. Like, why'd you do that? And it took me a while to realize it's because the way I lost the weight, I built a lifestyle that I couldn't sustain. I
Mhm.
couldn't keep going to the gym 2 times a day. I couldn't keep tracking my calories. I mean, down to the last calorie. And if my fitness pal said, yeah, I had 62 left, I was looking for 62 calories in my kitchen. I mean, we went on vacation and I brought my food scale with me because I was terrified that I needed to be on track. I needed to not lose
Mhm.
this progress. Um, and eventually I got burnt out. It's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, can I get a creamy with the kids? I don't know. Did I exercise enough? I don't know. And I came across some other podcasts that were talking about mindset. And I thought, losing weight is a whole mindset too. And I got really good at math.
Absolutely.
I got really good at math when I lost 100 pounds. But the math didn't teach me what to do when my day was stressful, what to do when I had employees who weren't showing up to work, what to do when my kids were like losing their minds. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have 62 calories left. So what? I needed to learn how to manage my mind. And so that's what I'm doing this go around. And it just feels like a much more relaxed journey that I'm really enjoying and savoring each moment because I know I'm not at my goal weight. No, but I know every weight I'm at, I need to be at and I need to learn from to get to the next weight.
I love that. I really just so connected with what you said, which is really the compassion, having compassionate curiosity
Yeah.
allows us to achieve our goals far more sustainably and be
Mhm.
able to stay there when we're able to be gentle with
Yeah,
ourselves. Yeah.
absolutely.
Talk a little bit more about the mindset piece, if you will, because that is a huge component that gets in our way.
Yeah. A lot of us are conditioned, I believe, to eat in reaction to things, right? Eat because it's a certain time of day, or eat because, well, dinner's ready and my family's going to eat,
Mhm.
or eat because you're stressed, or you're tired, or you're bored, or you're nervous, or you're celebrating. We eat for all of these reasons, right? Or, we think we have to, like, well, we were at a picnic, so, we have to be part of that. Or my husband brought home pizza, so I'm not going to be rude. Of course, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to appreciate that I don't have to cook dinner.
Right.
But really, we don't need to react in that way. We can look at what's happening. Okay, my husband brought home pizza. And what do I think about that? Because what I think about
Mm.
that is then going to drive my action. And for the longest time, I'd be someone who wants to skip right over the thinking part. Well, he brought pizza. Okay, now I'm eating it. So his fault if I gain weight because he brought the pizza.
It's always good to assess blame, right?
Yes, but really, if I pause when he brings the pizza, what do I think about that?
Mhm.
And in the past, it was I'm thinking that smells good, that looks good. I know what it tastes like. I don't have to cook. Like I'm only telling the positive narrative of the pizza. But if I let the whole story play out, my brain knows more about pizza than just the good stuff.
Yeah.
It also knows it will make me feel bloated. It'll make me feel a little like I won't have as much energy. I'll feel like I want to sit down. I'll get a little tired. I just don't want to hear any of that in the moment that
Mhm.
pizza enters the room, right? My brain lights up and it's like, woohoo, pizza. So just looking at your mindset and looking at what's the whole story, being willing to listen to the whole
Mhm.
story instead of just the story that serves what you want in the moment.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it's that pause, right? So we get when
Yeah.
we distance ourselves from the habitual, I'll just eat the pizza because it's what's there, and we connect to that longer term vision, the longer term goals, the longer term image of
Yeah.
who we want to be, that higher best self is when we can choose differently.
Just learning to take a bird's eye view on yourself, looking for as an outsider, not letting your thoughts be you, but just
Mm,
like you're not your thoughts, you're the watcher of them. And so when we get good at watching them and seeing what's going on, because I think we have like 60,000 thoughts a day, and we only catch about 3,000 of them, which means 57,000 or so thoughts are running around unsupervised, right?
and
And so
often
when we
repetitive.
yes, yes, and we just think it's how it is because that's what I always
Mhm.
think, but we could slow down and look at it, then we can reevaluate and say, well, actually, I don't really believe that anymore. What do I need to start telling myself about whatever it is, the pizza?
So just connecting to that longer term vision, the pause is going to help you, but can you provide a few tools or some questions or maybe a new habit in addition to the pause that will support the people listening to choose something different, choose more of what they want?
Yeah, I think there's two things you can ask yourself. One, is this what I want in the moment and long term? Like complete the whole
Mm,
question. Is this what I want in the moment and for my long term? And the other question, which my members, I think they grow to love or love to hate, is am I really hungry?
yeah.
Because food solves for hunger, and
Mhm.
that is it. It doesn't solve anything else. And we have to get good at realizing is this physical hunger or is this emotional hunger? Physical hunger starts in our stomach and then tells our brain, hey, we need fuel. And emotional hunger starts as an idea that then makes its way down to, well, yeah, that sounds good. Like, let's get that, right?
I remember someone telling me years ago about that pause that and saying, okay, if you want that candy bar or that pizza or whatever it is, wait 15 minutes. And if you
Hmm.
still want it after 15 minutes, then have a piece of it. You don't have to have the whole thing. That for me was huge when I had two children, a very busy business, and
Hmm.
just and didn't pause and think. Is that something that you agree with?
Yeah, I think setting a timer, any way you can gamify it is really going to help you. So another kind of tool or tactic I teach my members is as you're learning to figure out your hunger signals, try leaving 2 bites behind every meal you serve yourself and just see what happens. Are you really hungry enough that you need those extra 2 bites? And if you come from Clean Plate Club or dessert is earned or food insecurity, that can be really hard to leave food behind until you start to understand it's wasted if I overeat it too. Like both ways
Oh,
are waste,
that's a good
right?
one. So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Adina. Thank you so much for joining us. She is a social media expert and super, super talented. So thank you so much for joining us, Adina.
Hi, Adina.
So another tip or tool is it, for the busy business owners, the people who are like, I just don't have time. I'm kicking it down. I've tried several different things or dozens of different things. What else do you recommend for your people that have really supported them in making the changes?
Yeah. So all those thoughts that you just said are real good excuses to not do something different that our brain is just really good at, right? You
Mm-hmm.
do have time. Probably the biggest tip I can give, especially if you're feeling busy or overwhelmed. When you're in overwhelm, everything seems to have the same priority. So first you need to decide, does this really, is eating this as important as getting this work done or whatever? We make everything as important when we're in overwhelm and it's not. So allowing yourself the time to sit and write a plan ahead of time is my biggest time saver. Because if you can write your plan ahead of time for the day, this is what I'm going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If I'm hungry, this is what I will have. If I don't want it when the time comes, that doesn't really matter because when you're
Mm-hmm.
writing your plan in the moment, you're goal focused typically. You know what you want to reach your goal. And as your day gets going and you get stressed and overwhelmed and busy and you're running late and you need to go get the kids, you care
Screw it.
far less about your goal.
Yeah.
And now you just want what's quick and easy and habitual, right? So having a plan in place gives me an easy reference. Yeah, I'm stressed. Yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, we need to get to soccer. What was dinner? Oh, yeah, I have it written down. Maybe I've even planned for it. Maybe I even meal prepped ahead of time and it's ready. But doing that plan ahead of time saves time throughout the day. And I don't think we realize how much time we waste on, well, what's for dinner? What am I going to have? Am I going to go to lunch with colleagues? Am I going to pack
Mhm.
my lunch? What am I going to do? Am I hungry? Should I go to the vending machine? So much wasted energy.
So much wasted energy, and it's something I talk about a lot, which is that time and consistency piece. We value the present,
Mhm.
expedient, something to eat, and the value is within there, but the cost is in the future. That when we can start identifying, like you were saying earlier, really shifting our mindset to say,
Yeah.
okay, the cost is in the moment. I've got to actually do the meal prep or even just write down what we're having. The reward is so great in the future.
Right. Yeah. I have members too who in the beginning they feel like writing their plan is restriction. It's like, well, I don't want to restrict myself and only be able to eat this. What if I feel like that? Because isn't the point of this whole thing you can eat what you want? You don't need rules. It's like, right, but you also need to be able to practice boundaries. You also need to be able to practice following through and keeping your word to yourself. So if you
Mhm.
say you're going to have tacos tonight and your husband brings home pizza, why is it important for you to stick to your plan of tacos? What does that do for you? Other than fuel your body or feed
Mhm.
your hunger, what does it mean to you to follow your plan and to stick to it? How is this not restrictive? How is this helping you?
What you're saying for me really highlights the confidence piece. When we step into who we want to be and make the choices that we know we want to make when we're setting that plan, helps
Yeah.
build our confidence. And we often will identify as, oh, I'm horrible at this. I can't meal prep. I'm horrible with, I just always want a snack. We identify as that type of person. But
Yes.
all we need to do is start a new habit. And I say all, which is not easy necessarily, but to tip it to a 51-49 to start identifying as someone who sets a goal, believes in themselves, and actually builds that confidence. Can you take this and sort of run with it a bit as a confidence coach? How, when we make those choices in alignment with our goals, it truly builds our confidence and how that impacts not only our personal life, but our professional life.
Yeah. Showing yourself that you can depend on yourself is mind blowing in itself, right? I teach my clients a calendaring system where we don't put it on the calendar unless you're absolutely positive you're going to do it. You know you're going to show up for it. So once it's calendared, you know it's as good as done, right? And so then you have to decide what's worthy of my calendar and what's not. And I think stepping into this decision making practice with food is a place we all eat. So we all have decisions to make around food. It gives us a level playing field to learn these tools of mind management and saying yes and no and setting boundaries over what you're going to put in your body. And then we can take that same mindset tool and put it into the office, right? What am I willing to tolerate here? What am I not? What can I say yes to? When I'm saying yes to this person, I'm saying no to what? And just evaluating everything and being confident in saying yes or no. It's like, it should be so simple and it's not. And a lot of times it's not. It's because we're afraid of what other people will think, right? We're people pleasers by nature. And what if they get upset?
So true. So true. I mean, you're totally talking my language. Your yeses and your nos are creating your future. Boundaries, all of that.
Yeah.
It's so important. We get so tripped up in what other people, what we think other people will expect or say about us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about your journey within, as you have become healthier, how that has impacted your productivity, your focus within your business?
Oh, yeah, it's allowed me to see the importance of small steps. I mean, I was a person before who, if I couldn't work out for a full hour, forget it. It's not worth my time, or so I would think. If I can't complete a full module for my next round of clients, forget it. I'll schedule it when I can complete the whole thing. And what this has taught me is little bits add up to create big, lasting change and results and courses and content. And if we can just take it little bit by little bit, it's much more digestible. I mean, we can do it. We can get through each step, building our confidence along the way, not knowing the how, but knowing we can figure it out. I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. I mean, and to sort of circle back, something popped in my head of what you were saying earlier is it actually is very simple, but it's not easy is where I see in my work, people get tripped up. It's so simple. Why can't I do it? You know, I'm bad at this or whatever. It's not that it's not simple. It's that to change our behavior, our way of being is incredibly difficult. And then we beat ourselves up because we're not doing it the way that we want to. That doesn't benefit us. It doesn't benefit the people around us. It doesn't benefit our health, all of that. So compassionate curiosity is it can absolutely be our friend.
Yeah. And I explain it to my clients too, as, you know, once you're really in a habit, and for many of us that have been dieting a certain way or been trying all these different diets, we habitually think that dieting is hard and there needs to be a lot of rules and I'm really going to have to buckle down. That is such a well-lit highway for our brain to follow. So we follow it all the time. And, you know, we have this little dirt road that's not lit and we don't know what's down there. And that's my way. That's the way I'm trying to
Take
go.
the road less traveled.
Yes, there's a different way to do this, but you have to be willing to believe in yourself and you have to be willing to listen to your thinking, not own it, just listen to it, evaluate it, and then create it. Be the author of your own story.
Wonderful. I love it. I love it. So, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
How do you live and lead a sustainable life? What habit or skill set allows you to really be more sustainable in your health, in your confidence, and in your work?
Yeah, it's every morning waking up and setting my intention for the day. How do I want to show up today? One of the papers that my members fill out is called the Morning Makeover. The day is new, be new in it. How do you want to show up today? What do you want to achieve? And then for people who trip up in the evening, even visualize to the next morning, right? I'm someone, evening is difficult for myself. So I'm visualizing how do I want to show up in my whole day? And when I wake up tomorrow, what's the first thing I want to feel?
Can you repeat? Because I think it was so impactful. Today is a new day.
Yeah, the day is new. Be new in it.
That is such a great, I will say I have a little quote that pops up at 7 a.m. every morning, and it's, how will you serve your community today? And it helps me get focused. That would be a great thing to add to the morning routine. That is absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely. How you show up is 100% up to you. It's not dependent on the circumstances around you.
Yeah. Awesome. Emily, thank you so much for sharing your brilliance, your tips, your tools, and your journey. I mean, it is so inspiring what you have done and how you're serving people to truly step into their confidence, lose the weight, and get to that ideal, no matter what it is, not what society deems is ideal.
Right. Thank you so much for having me.
Where can people reach out to you? And do you have any offers that you would like, like a free gift?
Yeah, definitely. We open again June 6th. I'm so excited about that. So our next 12-week track will start then. EmilyBrower.com is the easiest place. You can join the wait list. You can schedule a 15-minute call with me for free to just ask about coaching and is this right for you? I'm on Facebook, Emily Brower Life Coaching, and try to stay active and fun there. So
I think you nailed it right on the head. Staying active and fun. It needs to be fun. When it starts to get heavy, we let it go in every area of our life and in our business. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Definitely.
So next week, June 1st, which just blows my mind that we are in June, I am super excited to have two fabulous women, Cami Doder and Sandy Bragar. They're going to be showing up and talking about leadership and wealth, which I'm super excited. They are from Aspirant Wealth Management, and they also have a podcast called Money Tales, which Emily was just on. If you haven't listened to it, absolutely go and listen to it. So next week, June 1st, 10 a.m. East Coast time, please join for a conversation about wealth and leadership. And Emily, thank you again. I so appreciate you showing up today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you, everyone.